What's up, YouTube? I hope everyone's having a great day, a great night, a great evening, whenever you're watching this. In this topic, I'm going to talk about divine timing, um, being patient, dealing with isolation, or being put into situations to where it doesn't really benefit you, or being put into situations where you really don't want to be in. And I'm also going to talk about, I forgot what it's called, man, but the human balance of I forgot what it is. It's like the human basic needs. Like it involves, it's like a list. It involves like romantic love, I guess, physical affection, um, fuck. What the fuck is it called, man? Having shelter, food and water, proper foods to survive, proper shelter, experiencing love, having the career goal, life, fucking job you want. I forgot what it's called, but it's gonna make sense. So basically, I'm gonna get to it and let's get started. All right. So first, let's talk about divine timing, right? So, have you ever been in a situation where no matter what, no matter fucking what, you always seem to be put in a situation and it doesn't seem to benefit you? Okay, no, I'm not gonna get there. I'm talking about more of my experiences because I feel like if I talk about my experiences, it's gonna make more sense. And I'm sure you guys can relate to it too. But for me, it seems like no matter what moves I make in life, no matter what risks I take, no matter how much I get out of my comfort zone, this and that, it always seems like I'm not satisfied with it, I'm literally trying everything in my power to create the type of life I want for myself. And the type of life I want for myself is basically being connected to a group of friends or people that I feel safe and connected to. Um, you know, Obviously being financial free, but we know damn well that's just not gonna happen, or at least gonna take a long time because we live in such a corrupt, fucked up world. So that's not gonna happen. But the things that could make more sense when it comes to manifestation is attracting, the type of friends where you feel very connected to. I'm not just talking about any type of friends. I'm talking about soul tribe type of friends where you feel very connected to them, and you just feel that deep spiritual connection with these people, right? Where you feel safe, where you can talk about anything. These type of friends, even romantic love, but not just dating around this and that. I mean, yeah, that could help too, but not just that, but just finding a specific partner where you feel very connected to, not just a physical attraction, but a mental attraction as well, where the conversations is very stimulating. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, having a career job field where I'm very passionate about, or not even passionate, but it's very rewarding and shit. But it just seems like whenever I try different things in life, I try new things, shit doesn't happen, and either it don't happen, or I'll be very unsatisfied with the results I'm getting, right? It could be people, I just don't feel connected to these people. I'm just rather not be around them. Or now I'm forced to isolate myself because I don't want to be around these types of people. Or I'm in a job or career situation to where I don't really like it, where I feel unsatisfied, or and also I can't find a fucking romantic partner where I don't even feel connected to her like that. Or if alone, even find a fucking woman in general, man. Damn, I'm always put into areas and places to where I can't even meet different types of people. I'm always put into these small hometown areas. Now I understand people's life purposes are different, so what may work for me may not work for you. Maybe you're not looking for that. Maybe you're looking for something else, which is fine. And I'm not talking about it's bad to be in a small area, small town. Not at all. Shit, I might even want to be there at certain times in my life. I desired that, but now, as life goes on, you change, or you expand. Well, not even in terms of expand. You just have different views, and you just rather try new things. That's me. I'm in a stage of my life where I'm craving to be in a big city where I can meet different types of people, where like I could do a lot of things and shit. But you know, it just seems no matter what I try, shit doesn't work. I'm not gonna give up. I'm still young, so like I still got time. I'm still gonna, you know, self-reflect, heal, try to study what the fuck is going on with the planets and this and that, my astrological influences and shit. Study about spirituality, because all these play a role basically how your life is gonna turn out. Not, well, at least I don't think it's 100%, but like I do believe you have some type of free will. But I also believe your life does get controlled in some way. And this is why I'm talking about divine timing. This video is gonna be all over the place. I'm telling you, like, I don't plan my videos when I make them. I just come based on my intuition or top of my head. But in the future, once I'm settled, once I once I have my own camera, once I have my own, I mean, I do have these, I can't afford these, but like I'm not in the right position because like my work, it's just time consuming, you know. So I pretty much Saturday is my only fucking, I guess Sunday. I only have 2 days off, man. It's just like the average work, but it's so draining. Not draining, but it's time consuming, man. But I don't know, whatever. In the future, my YouTube videos will be a lot better. Just mark my words, all right? Right now, all my videos not planned. I'm making them through my phone, so don't worry. It's gonna get better. I'm gonna get more into depth with my topics too, but still. So I'm sorry for the rant, but let's get to it. This is where I get to divine timing, right? I personally believe in divine timing. I personally believe like God will put you in these bullshit situations where you don't really want to be in, but for whatever reason, God still puts you in these situations. Me personally, I really don't know why, but I guess my own theory is that so God can make you grow mentally, spiritually, so God can make you more wise. And based on my observations with other people in the spiritual community, yeah, basically, if you're put into dumbass situations where you really don't want to be in, and that's how you know your life is being controlled. That's how you know, that's how you know the fucking universe is controlling your life in a way. Because it's like, no matter how many times you try to manifest, no matter how many times you try to change your life in a way by meeting new people, making more money, or not letting money control you, or trying to find a romantic love interests, etc. If you try to do that constantly, then it always seems like there's always like a roadblock, or some bad luck happens, or you just seem like you're in a fucked up timeline where like nothing changes. That's how you know your life is being controlled. I'm not saying give up, keep trying. The purpose is to get out of that timeline. Now here's the thing, I'm confused actually. I'm not sure if your life gets controlled. I don't know if it's divine timing or if you're in a fucked up timeline. Now my theory is that like, yes, there is some divine timing, because I personally believe that everything is pre-planned. I would go into detail, but like, man, it's getting dark out, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'll probably make another video about that. Because you know how time is, you know, time is always speeding the fuck up. You don't have time to fucking do anything now these days. It's fucking bullshit, but whatever, man. But basically, I personally do believe everything is pre-planned in a way where as humans we can't comprehend. But I do believe we do have a little bit of free will, just a little bit, not a lot, like probably 1% free will. But even then, our predestined events and life circumstances does fucking dictate our free will pretty much. That's how I look at it, at least. But not only that, but like divine timing, you know. But also, again, the timeline. I personally believe that like if we're not satisfied in life, then more than likely we're in a timeline to where like we're in a fucked up timeline where like nothing happens. And I didn't make this up on my own. I got this from a person from the spiritual community. I don't like saying spiritual community because like I guess the spiritual community has like it has a bad reputation. I'm assuming. So when I say spiritual community, I'm not saying like the new age or shit. I'm talking about people I learned from like YouTube, people who are very spiritual, you know. And I don't want to mention names too, because like I don't know, I just feel like I don't want to mention their names, this and that. I mean, I do, but like I don't know, I just feel uncomfortable. I really do, but like I'm not sure if they're okay with it. But so it is what it is. But like she did mention that there's a possibility of like you being in a different timeline, this and that, where like nothing seems to happen. or like, well, that wasn't her exact words, but it's basically like that. We're like, oh shit, I thought I saw something moved, but yeah, he could be in a fucked up timeline, or you attract a lot of abundance, and bliss, and happiness, and money, and wealth, and a lot of cool, amazing shit. Then more than likely you're in a very high vibrational timeline or whatever, you know. But either way, I feel like the universe, God, whoever the fuck, the higher power, does dictate or is controlling our life in some type of way. This is where you get your soul contracts from. This is where you get your reincarnation traps, this and that, your life scripts, your predestined events. This is where you get that from. And I could kind of, like how my life plays out, I could kind of see through that shit. I'm not trying to blame everything on the universe or anything, but what I'm saying is that, like, I have experienced a lot of situations to where, like, yeah, no way, like, all this shit I'm experiencing is a coincidence. Like, all this shit is clearly predestined, you know what I'm saying? And this shit's annoying. Like, I've experienced being with a lot of abusive, narcissistic people, family members, just bullshit karmic cycles constantly with people. I've experienced that shit, man, and that shit is horrible. If you ever been the black sheep of the family, or like you've been scapegoated by your family in some way, why you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. Where like, no matter what, there's always like negative energy or like these bad cycles being thrown at you. And I get it, so you can heal and break these generational curses, and to fucking like break free, I guess, and to learn to love yourself, healing your past life wounds, this and that. I get it, but like, this shit gets annoying. And like, who the fuck, see, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I could talk for hours about this shit. Just the fact that as humans, like, we don't have access or any knowledge towards our past lives and the afterlife, but not just the afterlife, just our past lives in general. So like, it could help us navigate through this world more successfully and smoothly. Just the fact that we don't have access to that, it shows how corrupt and how much of a fucking life prison we're really in. It's bullshit. Because if God really wants the best for us, wouldn't it make sense if God gives us a lot of access and knowledge to our past lives, to a lot of spiritual knowledge, so we can navigate and maneuver in this realm very easily, right? But no, instead God wants to keep us in a lack of knowledge state of mind. And when I'm talking about knowledge, I'm not talking about like mundane knowledge. I'm talking about spiritual knowledge, like having access to our past lives, having access to like spiritual shit, like how it is in afterlife, different beings, you know, away from Earth, you know, just having knowledge of different beings. You know, I'm talking about like psychic type of energy, but only like 0.1% of people actually experience this shit. And even then, they don't have access to like their past lives like that. You know? And if they do, it's very rare. But, you know, it just comes to show that like, we're actually very limited. Like, you'll be shocked. Like, if you actually take time to think and like try to like study yourself, study your life circumstances, other people's life circumstances, and studying this world in general, you can see like we're very limited. The universe really does limit us in a way where like, it's like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I just really hate this timeline I'm in. I fucking hate this bullshit, man. But you just live and you learn. You just gotta make, what I've learned is that like, no matter what situation you're in, you just gotta make the best of it. You gotta make the most of it, you know? Try to learn the most you can. Trying to like make the situation benefit you in some way. But I just feel like my life is being wasted because like I really can't explain it. Like I really do feel like my life is being controlled. I understand I could change it, but like still, you know, it's just fucking weird, man. I'm telling you, like, I've experienced circumstances to where like it seems like a higher power of the universe is controlling my life in some way. And I know if you're watching this, I know you experience the same shit, or you may be thinking the same thing. If you are, then more than likely, yes, you are. You know, like, you're not going crazy. It does seem like, yes, you could be in a horrible timeline. Either that, or the universe is controlling you, God's controlling you, or like different entities, whoever the fuck, you know. But it is what it is, man. shit happens. It's bullshit, but just gotta make the most of your situation, I guess. I guess that's where free will comes in, where like you have different perspectives about shit, you know. But I know this video's all over the place, but like I said, in the future, I'm definitely gonna get more into detail with my fucking YouTube videos. Basically, all the uploads I'm making is all a warm up. I'm getting a new camera. I'm gonna record on a camera, not on a phone. Everything's gonna be more structured, I guess you could say. Yeah, this is just like a warm up, but what else? But yeah, I personally do believe divine timing is at play. But like one of my biggest fears in life is the fact that like God is limiting you and not making you experience the things you want to experience. And I understand. I personally do believe like maybe the universe does protect you in a way, where like you have to experience what you got to experience, this and that. But like, well, one, this world is fucking shit anyways. This world is very hellish. Like, there's a lot of evil shit that goes on. But like, I'm not too sure if evil shit even does take place. I'm just hearing a lot of rumors. You know, it's not that hard, you know. You got the dark web, you got the deep web, you got conspiracy theories, this and that. You know, you got wars going on, you got battles going on. You can look at the news. If you don't have a Twitter, I really recommend kind of making a Twitter, because you'll be surprised. Because like Twitter, there's like billions of people have Twitter, right? And like if you like do your research, I guess, like I'd just be scrolling through, and like I'd be looking at different subjects and shit, and like a lot of people were talking about like what goes down behind the scenes in this world, like the type of shit like rich, or not rich people, but like I guess the higher ups be doing, like the people in power. I'm talking about like really, really rich people, like to the point where like they'll abuse other people, or like they'll kidnap other people, this and that. You know, you'll be very surprised and shocked, like what these people are talking about on Twitter. You know, obviously because it's Twitter, but like, you know, if you do your research on Twitter, a lot of people do talk about a lot of corrupt and evil shit that goes on behind the scenes. Me personally, I don't know if it's real or not. I personally think it's real. I believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in evilness in this world. I believe in corruption. I do believe there's a lot of shit we don't know that's very evil behind the scenes. I personally do believe that. Again, I don't have no proof, but I personally do believe it. But who knows? I could be wrong, but I guess time will tell, you know. But yeah, man, this is divine timing. You know, if you seem like you seem stuck in life, or you can't seem to change it in some way despite you keep trying, or you keep hitting like dead ends or roadblocks and shit when it comes to like meeting the types of people you want to meet, or meeting the type of romantic partner you want to meet, or trying to attract a nice job or career you want to have, just getting away from bullshit. If you're still struggling, then most likely you're, in my opinion, you're either in a very fucked up, toxic timeline, or God is controlling your life in some way. That could be a positive way, it could be a negative way. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I hope it's positive. I mean, it'll make sense to be a positive way, where God can make you spiritually grow. You can learn from a lot of shit. But at the same time, it's like, if God was doing that in my life right now, right? I'm like, bruh, that shit's not serving me in any way. I feel like I've learned my lessons. I feel like I've learned my experiences. I've already, and I'm in that, but I've been experiencing a lot of like isolation and like karmic cycles with dating people in the workplace. It's people in general, man. I've dealt with a lot of karmic cycles, even with family members, man. I went through hell, man. Fuck. You know, like I'm talking about like I'm going through verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. Yes, all this shit, man. All these karmic cycles, man. You know, all this crazy shit. It's fucking crazy. I mean, I'm not experiencing these now, but before. But right now, what I'm experiencing is I'm still experiencing isolation. I'm experiencing not meeting the right people that's good for me. And I mean it in a good way, where I feel connected, not in a bad way, where I could learn from these people, where I could evolve through abuse. I'm not talking about evolving that way. I'm talking about evolving in a fucking blissful way, where like there's no bullshit. We just learn from each other. We get along, this and that. I'm also experiencing being put in like fucking careers or jobs I really rather not be in, situations I really not rather be in. All this shit, right, I'm experiencing. And I understand people have it worse, but you get what I'm saying? Where like I'm trying to get to the point where like, okay, if the universe is still trying to teach me a lesson in a way so I could grow, in my opinion, I find no fucking meaning behind that. Cause I feel like I've experienced enough to the point where like now I know what I want. I know what I need and don't need. I know the types of people I'm gonna be around with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fuck, man. I've tried manifesting techniques. I've tried writing shit down on paper. None of this shit works, man. I'm telling you, like, Enofey, Enofey, he has his own YouTube channel. He did mention that, like, I feel like, dude, these weren't the exact words. I forgot what he said, but I think he said, law of attraction is bullshit. And he said, like, more than likely, if law of attraction is not working for you, more than likely it's because you have a lot of karma. And I personally do believe that, because like me personally, I'm experiencing that right now, where like I'm trying to use the law of attraction to help benefit me, but like no matter what, I'm always put into dead end situations with people, workplaces, money, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck, man. So I'm not sure if I did a lot of bad shit in my past lives, or like I'm put here to break fucking generational curses. These are I'm being put into fucked up situations, or maybe both. You know what I'm saying? But who the fuck knows, man? Here's another thing with karma and like, you know, families breaking generational curses, right? So if you scroll through YouTube, right, if you do your research, you have different like people that talk about like being the black sheep of the family, being the scapegoats of the family, where they're constantly being abused and shit, right? They do talk about breaking generational curses, this and that, which I personally do believe in that, right? But at the same time, hang on, give me 1 second. Okay, but like with me, I personally do believe in that, right? I personally do believe people are put here to break generational curses. But what I have a problem with is that, like, if we're here to break generational curses in this timeline, why couldn't these generational curses be broken in past lives, in these other past lives? What the fuck were we doing in these past lives? So you're telling me that like God just out of nowhere, he just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna continue this cycle of abuse over and over and over and over again, from centuries, decades, timelines, different past lives. I'm gonna keep this shit going until suddenly I'm gonna decide, okay, I'm gonna have a couple souls to reincarnate, specifically in this timeline we're in right now, and I'm gonna have these types of people go through a lot of abuse, all this shit these people I've let experience with a lot of pain and negativity in these other past lives. I'm gonna make all of them fucking project all that shit into these specific people that I want in this timeline to break these generational curses. People committed suicide over being like going through abuse, not just a family, like not just like breaking, not just like being the scapegoat of the family. There are stories about it. I don't know if it's true or not, where people commit suicide by constantly being abused. I mean, I'm sure you hear stories where like families done some bad shit to other people. I mean, to like their own loved ones, right? To the point where it made them commit suicide. But like, just narcissism in general, like having a narcissistic partner, or like just dealing with a psychopath or a narcissist, right? Where people just off themselves, or they go through tremendous amounts of pain. And it makes me think, like, now I understand like it's spiritual warfare. According to the spiritual community, they mentioned that like it's spiritual warfare. It's a Jezebel spirit. So like, of course that entity is gonna have more power and shit. But how I'm thinking is like, okay, if that's the case, then like, why the fuck would our creator or the universe, why the fuck would they even allow all this shit to happen? If the creator is all knowing and powerful, right? Then why the fuck would God just kind of toy with humanity or toy with human beings like that. You know what I'm saying? Either the creator is very corrupt as well. I feel like our creator is at play. Because I feel like, this is my opinion, right? In the spiritual community, no one really talks about God, the universe, or yeah, like that. They always focus on the demiurge. It's kind of like the Bible, where like they mention about devil, Jesus, this and that. But in the spiritual community, it's kind of the same. You know what I'm saying? And again, they could be right. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm just speaking from my own perspective about this shit, right? So like, let's just say, fuck, I lost my train of thought, and it's fucking dark out, so I'm kind of paranoid. But where was I? Okay, so again, you have your Bible, right? In Christianity, where like they refer to the good and evil, the Jesus, God, the devil, the Lucifer. I feel like it's the same way in spiritual community, where people talk about God, the universe, the demiurge, the devil, Satan, this and that. I feel like no one really like mentions maybe God could be corrupt as well. If not corrupt, then maybe God is very weak, or like lack of will, or like God really doesn't do shit. Because you see all these spiritual warfares, just observe this world. You see how much evil shit that goes on. Now I understand there's different meanings, where like in this world, someone commented on my YouTube video. Shouts out to him. He did mention like, in this realm, like we have to experience duality, right? So like, there's good and evil. He did mention that. I forgot his name, but like he did mention that into detail, and I gotta give him a shout out. Once I look back to your comment, once I see your name, I'm gonna give you a shout out. All right. But he made a good point where like, yes, I do agree. This realm, it does evolve evil and good shit. Duality, right? I get it. But at the same time, it's like, still like, why would God even allow this shit to happen? I don't know, man. It just doesn't sit right with my mind. Like, knowing like this realm is so capable of a lot of wicked and evil shit going on. Like, I'm telling you, like, reincarnating into this realm is very fucking risky. Very, very risky. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe at the same time, we are guided in a way. Like, the universe does guide us. God does protect us in a way. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like God doesn't really do shit to change his realm. I feel like God uses human beings to do all the work for us. You know what I'm saying? But, give me 1 second. Yep. Yeah, but that's where I'm getting at. Sorry about that. I was walking, looking through my way, but yeah, I feel like the universe or God, they don't really, I feel like God doesn't really do shit, to be honest. Like, like he just sits there and watches all this shit happen, right? And I'm just like, bro, like, can you at least help out? Like, why does God use human beings to like break these generational curses? And here's the thing about like, certain people being placed into these toxic families to break these cycles, right? To break these generational curses. Why isn't only like 1 to 2 people, maybe most at 3, but like, usually from all the stories I hear, from all the YouTube videos I hear, it's usually only one person. The most is two people, versus like a whole bunch of other family members where they're dealing with narcissism, abuse, mental abuse, anything that's dysfunctional, right? That's causing a lot of harm and pain to them, right? And I'm just like, if breaking generational curses were so important, why the fuck would God or the creator only allow a select few people to break these curses? Now I get it, maybe God sees strength in them, but like, to me, it kind of sounds like spiritual abuse, where like God uses these chosen ones to break these generational curses as a scapegoat. So you see where I'm getting at. they're experiencing being a scapegoat in this realm, in a human experience, but they're also like a scapegoat towards like in terms of the creator putting a select few of them in these abusive situations. Like I said, if breaking generational curses was so important, why would God put a select few people? Why can't God put like 5 family members to break these curses? Why only 2 people? You know what I'm saying? Because when you hear about these abusive, toxic family cycles, right? You always hear about the black sheep, the scapegoat, and all the stories are the same. Like in every video, it's always family members, a lot of them ganging up on one person. All the, like, I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, go on YouTube, and there's so much stories where people talk about that. There's so much like stories where like they all talk about specifically where like a whole bunch of family members are ganging up on them. They're projecting towards them. And this is where you get your spiritual warfare. This is where you get your narcissism. All this and that, right? But I'm just like, why is it that all these people are experiencing the same shit? And the reason why I'm saying this is because me personally, I've experienced the same shit too. No, my family's not evil or anything, but like I have experience where like a whole bunch of them were like abusing, were like physically harming me. They would gaslight me. They'll do a lot of covert, underhanded shit towards me. They'll twist up my words. They'll fucking steal from me. They'll take my shit. All this and that, man. They'll lie to me. They'll project. They'll definitely a lot of projection behind closed doors. And like once I confront other family members about it, that family member will lie. You know, I will make a whole video about like my toxic family in the future. I will go into depth. I feel like it's gonna be very interesting because I know a lot of people also experience this shit too. And this is why like I'm so passionate about this shit, because like shit doesn't just add up, you know what I'm saying? Like is God really putting these specific people to break these generational curses? And if that's the case, why is God only sending 1 or 2 people? You know what I'm saying? If it was so important, why can't God send like 5 people, you know? But that is how the creator of the universe is. God will really like use human beings as a scapegoat in a way. Y'all may think it's a good thing or a bad thing. There's no right or wrong. But me personally, I think it's a fucking bad thing. Very dangerous. And it makes sense because you see how this world is playing out. You see how there's a lot of evilness and corruption. Just the fact that we're being controlled by money, you know what I'm saying? This world in general, just the fact that it's so corrupt, you know? And like this world has a lot of possibilities of being very evil, you know? I mean, to study human history, supposedly there's a lot of wars where like people had swords and shit. We had slaves. We had fucking all these battles going on, you know? Like that in itself is very violent and evil. So it makes sense where like God use a select amount of people, like 1 or 2 people, to break these family toxic generational curses, you know what I'm saying? It only makes sense, in my opinion. Again, this video is very complicated because I know it may seem complicated. I feel like I'm not making any sense, but like in the future, I'll definitely get more into detail with all my topics. All the videos I'm uploading, again, is just a warm-up. I will get into detail with what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, but it's just how this world is, you know. It's very evil. There's a lot of spiritual corruption, and you just gotta be careful, you know. And I may sound like a hypocrite, but like, if you're feeling kind of fearful, you always gotta, I guess, rely on God or the creator in a way, I guess, you know. Even though I'm talking about how corrupt the creator is. Or give me anything, any being, anyone where you feel very safe, like when it comes to spirituality or biblical beliefs, just rely on that higher power, you know, to protect you navigating through this world, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say. Hang on, give me 1 second. It's kind of dark. I gotta watch where I'm walking. Give me 1 second. And I don't want to end this video either. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. I was watching my step because it's really dark, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to end the video because I have a lot more topics to talk about. Let's talk about let's talk about time speeding up. So, what the fuck is up with time speeding up, right? I know I made a lot of videos about it, but like, it just makes no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand like God wants to switch and change this world up so we can ascend and shit, but at the same time, it's like this world's already in a chaotic state. If God wants to speed up time so fast, you know how much chaos this society will be in? It's just gonna fuck everything up. And just the fact that we're in this position where like there's corruption, there's wars going on, this and that, it's kind of God's finding a way. Because like, why would God allow this shit to happen? Why would a higher power or the universe allow this shit to happen? It's annoying, bro. I'm telling you, like, one of the purposes of the human experience or like the human creation, at least in this timeline or any timeline in general, I swear the purpose of this shit is so God can really like fucking, I feel like we're like an experiment in some way. I do feel like the universe does experiment with human beings in a way, as crazy as that may sound. But like, if you really think about it, or if you observe human histories, you know, these wars, these battles, etc., it does seem like God kind of it does seem like God kind of like experiment with us. God uses human beings as like experiments. And it makes sense why this world is so fucking evil and this and that. But yeah, that's pretty much all. I'm gonna make a part 2 and I'm out. Peace.